On the internet, isn't there?
Yeah.
Eliza, you have a new album.
And we, wanted to listen to some comedy, so we looked. We
go to Sam Goody and
we went. Yes.
Where'd you find a Sam Goody? You guys live in the valley, don't you?
Well, what is the valley?
We can get drove anywhere, and the lines are they're moving. But we picked up the album to listen, and there is a photo on
Warpaint,
it.
my Netflix special.
Yes, you know the one.
Okay.
That's like an album.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's an album, sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we looked on the cover,
Yeah.
and I don't know even how to.
There's a. I mean, you gotta have an
It's
album
you.
cover.
It
There's
is
a picture.
It is you on there, and.
Are you guys uncomfortable with women?
Well, I'm trying to figure out how to say.
We don't even see the difference. We don't see the difference a lot of the time. It's like
Very, very noble.
It's you. You're holding
Yes.
a lipstick, and what to?
how else to describe the image?
It's your hair,
Mm-hmm.
and no.
Just naked.
Well,
Is that not a
that's
word?
yes, that's yeah.
Weirded out by how weirded
you
out
said
you
that's what it is.
I didn't say the N word. I mean, or the other N word. I mean, it's just the word naked.
And
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with either of you?
Well,
It just sounds like two rats eating lunch right now. I just keep hearing. I'm like trying to figure it out. I'm naked on the cover.
well, it's just it's when you look at it, you expect to see somebody wearing a shirt and pants and holding a microphone and doing a
Yes.
comedy show.
Well,
Yes.
people need to change their expectations. It's not always going to be a person in shirt and pants. That's not the way the society is.
Well, what if all the comedians did that? Then where would we just think
Then
about?
I would have probably worn a shirt and pants.
Well, just think about where we would be. Eliza.
Zig when they zag.
Yeah. Exactly.
Would we be in a good place if all the comedians were just being nude
No, we'd be in a
in
bad
their
place.
specials?
Because most comedians are horrible looking under their clothes. So
Yes, and
Yes.
so think about that. And so what happens
They
is
are,
Bill
yes.
Cosby in his next special
well, hopefully
exposes his.
Bill Cosby doesn't have to pull a PR stunt like that to get attention. But I felt that I did, so I did it. Also because I could.
Now
That's the real answer.
you mentioned comedians being horrible looking under their clothes.
Most people are.
A lot of them, yes, and that's interesting to me because isn't it true that you can only be funny if you were once a nerd?
I don't think that's true anymore. But I think a lot of nerds want you to think that. And I think when nerds are growing up, they're like, this is going to pay off big time. All this hate criming and getting hazed and harassed, it's going to pay off because I'm going to grow up to be a real writer.
Well, we love nerds, and I want to say I don't stand behind that. And like Chris Hardwick is actually a very good friend of our show, or we hope he will be soon.
Yes.
And
nerds like us and like him know that only true nerds know what it means to be funny, and that it's not, as some people have said, just a cheap angle at the fan base who you know will be most fanatical and devoted to you for me to say, hey, I'm a nerd.
Well, I guess what is a nerd? I think it's
Yes.
everyone's got a different definition.
It's comic books.
yes,
It's only comic books.
Yes, as if you read the comic book.
So
Yes.
all the kids that are into science, that don't go outside, that have allergies, that don't play sports,
I love science.
that like Japanese things,
I love science.
those aren't nerds.
Well, they have Japanese comic books.
Japanese comics are big.
So that we're including Japanese comics as well.
Yes.
They have, yes.
And Star Wars and stuff like that.
Yes.
Star Wars.
So we're expanding. As we're talking.
Star Wars comic book.
Yes.
Star Wars. That's
Japanese comic book, Star Wars comic book.
Japanese Star Wars comic. Okay, so it's those.
Yes.
Yes.
But any of the kids that were into building science projects and staying at home, any like dorks like that aren't necessarily smart.
Dork's different than nerds.
Yes, the dorks, there's no Dorcas podcast.
That would be an amazing competitor. So it's just nerds. Basically, you're saying only nerds can appreciate comedy.
We love nerds.
Yes.
Chris Hardwick will probably come on your podcast. So you don't have to keep saying we love nerds. He's a very nice guy.
If you've been a nerd, then you really know what's funny.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Can we amend that? Yes. And also regular people know as well. You did an if then, but I'm amending it.
They told us you were edgy. We knew you were going to come in here
Trying to find the edge somewhere here.
spit and fire.
Iliza, you have